Welcome, everyone. Go ahead and grab a virtual seat. I'm absolutely thrilled to be your professor for this session. Look, over my years of teaching and consulting, I've seen some brilliantly capable people completely paralyzed by money. Well, today's masterclass is designed to fundamentally and permanently shift that mindset. We're going to deconstruct a highly effective, incredibly streamlined approach to personal finance that literally eliminates that paralysis. It's called the 2-minute money tracking system. So, get your notebooks ready because what we're covering today is going to rewire how you interact with your capital. We're moving you from a state of constant, low-grade anxiety to complete, unshakable control.
You're not broke. You're just not watching your money. I want you to let that sit for a second. This right here is our core thesis for today. Let's be honest, the vast majority of people operate in a state of complete financial blindness. Did you know that over a third of people earning six figures are still living paycheck to paycheck? Crazy, right? It's clearly not an income problem, it's an awareness problem. People log into their banking portals only to survey the wreckage. They check their accounts long after the damage is done, just crossing their fingers and hoping the number is somehow higher than they expect. We are putting an end to that reactive, fear-based behavior right here, right now.
Okay, let's dive into the syllabus real quick. We're going to start with our personal finance thesis, then move into the immediate tracking habit. After that, we'll simplify everything with the 3 financial buckets, establish your weekly system audit, figure out how to plug your money leaks, and finally, I'll leave you with your final exam assignment.
All right, Section 1, the personal finance thesis. As we set up this framework, we really have to acknowledge a painful truth about modern human behavior. Most of us operate in a perpetual state of delayed financial awareness. Think about your average Tuesday. You're spending throughout the day, right? Swiping a piece of plastic or just casually tapping your phone for a coffee, a quick lunch, maybe an online order. Because there's zero physical friction, literally no cash leaving your hand, you become totally detached from the mathematical reality of your resources. You're just scrolling through your spending life blindly, only daring to check the balance when it's way too late to change the outcome. We have to stop that scroll.
Moving to Section 2. The immediate tracking habit. This is the foundational law of our entire system. And listen closely. We are not relying on complex financial software, predictive algorithms, or advanced accounting degrees here. Nope. We're relying strictly on basic behavioral conditioning. We are intentionally reintroducing friction into a frictionless environment. When you force your brain to acknowledge an action, you break the cycle of mindless consumption.
Write it down immediately. Every single purchase. Not at the end of the day when your memory is fuzzy and those little rationalizations start to creep in. And definitely not on Sunday evening when you're trying to relax and catching up feels like this massive, overwhelming chore. You must log the data right when you spend it. The absolute moment the transaction happens, your behavioral response needs to trigger. You tap your card, you step aside from the register, and you record the number. Doing this creates a powerful neurological bridge between the desire you just satisfied and the actual capital it costs to do so.
So the crucial point here is that the actual tool you use is entirely secondary to the habit itself. Whether you just type it into your phone's native Notes app, use a basic spreadsheet, or download free software like YNAB or Notion, honestly, it doesn't matter to me. Over the years, I've seen some of my brightest students completely fail because they spent 3 weeks building the absolute, perfect, color-coded, aesthetically pleasing Notion template, but they never actually logged a single cup of coffee. The tool does not matter. The neurological reinforcement of the habit is literally the only thing that moves the needle. You're physically training your brain to feel the weight of money leaving your possession.
Section 3. The 3 financial buckets. We are going to replace whatever convoluted, anxiety-inducing budgeting method you've tried in the past with a beautifully elegant, academically sound, tripartite economy.
Let's academically deconstruct why the old way, the exhaustive 47-category budget spreadsheet, is basically doomed to fail. Trying to categorize your entire life into 47 distinct rows, going from household maintenance all the way down to artisanal pet treats, it causes massive cognitive overload. It demands a level of perfectionism that we as humans just cannot sustain on a daily basis. And what happens? You inevitably miscategorize one purchase, get frustrated, and abandon the whole spreadsheet. Contrast that with the sheer psychological relief of our new methodology. We're using just 3 simple buckets. No fluff, no friction, no guilt.
Our exact taxonomy is brilliantly simple. You'll sort every single expense into one of these 3 definitive areas. First, needs. This should generally take up about 50% of your income. It's your structural overhead, rent, basic groceries, utilities, basically keeping the lights on. Second, wants, hovering around 20%. This is eating out, your digital subscriptions,
entertainment, the fun stuff that makes life actually worth living. And third, savings, ideally at 30%. Savings is fundamentally future use money. Whether it's an emergency fund or retirement investments, it belongs to the future version of you. It's mathematically precise and practically flawless.
All right, Section 4, the weekly system audit. Now, I want you to treat this Sunday check-in not as a chore, but as a high-level strategic business audit for the corporation of you. Every Sunday, you'll sit down to do this. It requires a grand total of 5 minutes, but I promise you, those 5 minutes will be the most profitable minutes of your entire week.
The scientific method of this audit hinges on 3 repeatable questions. You'll open your tracker and ask, 1. Where did most of my money go? 2. Did my wants eat into my savings? And 3. What is one thing I'll cut next week? Now, don't rush past that last point. 1 question, 1 cut. If you realize you spent $60 on delivery fees last week, your 1 cut for next week is simply to go pick up your takeout in person. 1 micro adjustment per week. That is the compound effect at work. Over 52 weeks, those tiny micro adjustments will completely transform your long-term financial trajectory.
Section 5, plugging your money leaks. We've established your tracking habit in your weekly audit. Now let's examine the concept of systemic attrition. We need to see how those seemingly invisible microtransactions quietly create devastating macro deficits in your overall wealth. Let's define this with textbook formality. A money leak is a small, repeated expense you barely notice, but which mathematically compounds to hundreds, if not thousands of dollars lost per year. Let me give you the real-world math on this. A $4 daily expense doesn't feel like a deficit on a random Tuesday afternoon, but over a year, that's nearly $1,500 vanishing from your potential net worth. Everyone, and I mean everyone, from struggling postgrads to seasoned executives, suffers from this hidden financial drain. It's the silent killer of wealth accumulation, mainly because our brains are literally wired to ignore small numbers.
What's truly fascinating is that these systemic leaks hide right in plain sight. It's the daily coffee run on your morning commute. It's those frictionless, one-click impulse orders late at night. Or, actually, it's probably that premium meditation app subscription you totally meant to use but forgot to cancel back in 2019. Because you're now rigorously tracking your data immediately at the point of sale, your tracker acts as a spotlight. It exposes these exact culprits the very moment they happen. Financial awareness fundamentally kills the leak. You can't fix what you can't see, but once you do see it, the solution becomes incredibly obvious.
Finally, Section 6, your final exam assignment. We're transitioning from theoretical data and behavioral frameworks right into empowering direct application. This is where the lecture ends and your personal transformation begins.
30%. I want to firmly anchor this success story for you. The dead simple tracking system we just outlined took the creator of this methodology from a state of chronic financial confusion, always stressed, always overwhelmed, always asking, where did my money go at the end of the month, to consistently saving an incredible 30% of their income. And they didn't get a massive raise to do this, they didn't win the lottery, they built a life-altering margin of safety and generated real wealth simply by paying attention to the math of their own life.
Listen, you do not need to be a Wall Street analyst or certified financial planner to execute this. You just need to know where your capital goes. Your assignment as my student is simple. Start today. Track 1 purchase. Build from there. Don't wait for a new month to roll around. Don't wait for a fresh Monday morning to magically bestow discipline upon you. Action beats theory every single time. The moment you make your very next transaction, log it.
I'm going to leave you with this final, provocative thought to ponder as we wrap up today's session. What is the one purchase you will track today to start your financial awakening? Think about what you're going to buy next, whether it's groceries, a tank of gas, or just a simple cup of coffee. Commit to logging it the exact second you spend it, and take permanent control of your financial future. Class dismissed.